Welcome to our second channel, More What the Rust. Today, we're going to be focusing on this 51 Chevy two-door hardtop that was burned up in the fire. We're going to start with pulling the windshield from the donor car so we can then pull the dash for this car. We're going to do lots more too. Come on along for the ride. So in order to do this, the wipers have to come off. And there's a trick to this. You have to pull them back so that a secret latch is undone on the bottom. See that little latch there? The problem is these are so broken, the connection, the spring to the latch is not there. So you got to kind of stick a screwdriver in like this to push the latch out of the way. And both of these are like that. But I've already done that, and that one obviously is already off, and this one is coming off. They're really not that tough to get off when you know about the latch. See, there it is right there. Right here. Okay.
All right, we're taking the trim off the front window inside the Chevy. So if you guys remember, I did this with Lula. Took every piece of inside trim off, sanded it, and Richard painted it for me. So I've got all the screws that go around the trim, and they are actually, oh, if I can get this turned around with one hand, Phillips, and the screws right there in the middle are flathead. And I remembered when I was working on Lula, I needed a little baby screwdriver to get those out because it's so hard to get a screwdriver in there. So those are ready to be popped out, so I'm just gonna wait until Richard has done what he needs to, and then we'll take those out. You got it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm interested to see what it looks like when you get it out.
Well, it's attached to some linkage that connects to the wiper motor, which I guess on these must be under the dash. On mine, it's mounted here. We
found this old pack of salt inside the car. Can you see that font in the image? That is, I don't even know how old that is in the back. It's very interesting. I'm gonna have to see if I can find any info about that. It's pretty cool. Gonna take the sun visors off?
Yeah, particularly if we might have a use for them.
Yeah, I told Richard that those would look fantastic in our 54 Chevy, the two-door, not the one that you just saw the video on, but the nice two-door that we have. And they are in exquisite condition. So yeah. I know when we go on trips in that 54, even though we have the AC, it's always, I'm always reaching up there to pull down a sun visor, and there isn't one. I have a feeling there will be shortly. You're trying to create access to the wiper on this side.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna pull out the nasty, disgusting inside of the glove box.
Yeah.
Which was a mouse house for, I don't know, decades?
Yeah. These are meant to come out to access things like that, but that one's had it. And look at that, the wiper's right there. So the inside wiper piece is only held in place with one bolt. I'll show you where it's at. Hopefully you can see that. Right here is that one bolt. It's very tough to see. You take that one bolt out right here, and the whole wiper thing's going to come out once the linkage is disconnected, which I will do next.
You're not going to believe what I found in the remnants of the glove box. 2 unused stamps for 13 cents. Look at that. Now I'm also going to have to look up wind stamps for 13 cents.
Yeah.
How cool. You gonna pull that out?
Yeah. There's all kinds of dead bugs behind it.
Oh, that's to be expected.
I got the other one too. They're in really good shape.
They are in excellent shape. Look at that.
Moultrie items.
No way.
They won't fit the 51.
You know that you're gonna find another one.
Another what?
Really?
Oh, another one of these?
Another Chevy somewhere, someplace, probably next week. So the strip in the middle That,
Yeah.
and you know what's interesting? The gasket around the window, it's not what I expected. Lula's was kind of cracked and dried and fell apart in our hands.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that on this one.
No, it's hard, but it has a little bit of springiness to it.
You know, the sad part about Lou is that the people that owned him, they had him for, was it about, they thought it was close to 50 years.
Yeah, a long
And
time.
they took care of this car. And then it was given to others, and well, you guys know the rest of the story on that.
Well, you know, somebody asked us why we're parting this out, and here's a good example. Look at this.
Oh yeah. Well, when I answer that question, I talk about the engine. Yes, we got this car to run and drive, but you know as well as I do, and anyone that watched this Will It Run, that engine needs to either be completely rebuilt or a new one put in. Which the 51 Chevy, the mechanicals on that have already been replaced. It has a newer engine, upgraded, and even though it was in a fire, that stuff held up.
We don't need to do hardly anything mechanically to that,
Exactly.
that car.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly anything. So it becomes a body exercise at that point.
Yeah. Where this one is...
Needs both.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, although, you know, I hate to say it, but it's true, this would still be a 4-door and not worth as... We could put $3,000 into this just to get it.
Sell for $3,000.
Exactly. So, and then the 51 is going to be worth much more.
Yep.
I unscrewed the visor on the driver's side, and when I did, I noticed that they had a clip up there. It's brass, and it's a horse. Pretty cool. Okay, have we gotten to that point?
I think so. Now this trim is embedded into the seal.
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding is the trim does not come off independent of the seal. So I'm going to try to cut behind it, which seems to be working. This is, as you can imagine, pretty tough. Let's start down here.
Yeah, save the toughest for the last. That's what I say.
It's cutting good.
It actually looks like it is, so hopefully that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So I smartened up and put the hood down so we could see better.
Okay, this is working. Look at that. We've got the edge of the glass right there. See the edge right there? So that's what we want to do all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Let me see what it looks like inside here. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think we're going to have to cut the inside, or do you think we might be able to go inside and just give it a push, get it out that way?
I think we're going to have to cut the inside, but I don't know. There's so much information about how to get these out on the internet. Some people say they have to go from the inside. I don't see how that's possible. This clearly doesn't look like it comes in from the inside.
Got it. Wonderful. Just for curiosity, I said go inside and push and see what happens. Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what it is. It's going to be that corner piece right there. See how it comes up really high?
Yeah, we can take that off.
Mm-hmm.
Just need a screwdriver that pops right off.
Oh, wow. That might be the easiest thing that has came off so far.
Yeah. Oh, that's super rusty. I don't think that's coming out.
Oh.
Yeah. That is super rusty. But I think it needs to come out.
To get that trim out?
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, I'll have to get out the drill. Yep, I need a trim removal tool, which I think I have.
So close.
Looks like it might come out in one piece.
Is that the clip?
Yeah. It's so rusty, it doesn't want to let go.
They are. I was going to wait until you got that off and let them see how bad that looks underneath.
All right, it's relatively intact. I put a small kink in it there, but that'll come out pretty easily. So this is a nice piece of trim.
What is that thing in the middle? Can we see the back?
Yeah, piece of steel.
Wow. Now let's get a good look at this. What a mess, huh?
Yeah.
You can see how those clips just
This one in particular.
rusted so bad.
So we've got a cut, I believe, right through here. And then it'll start to come out.
I asked you to push on the inside just a little bit just to see what happens. Oh, babe. You know what? Hey, wait. Do you know what it is? It's that screw in the middle that was keeping you. Yep, that's what was doing it.
Doing what?
Keeping you held in. Because all of this in the bottom was out.
Yeah, the bottom's out for sure. But
That
the
was
top-
holding you. I think that if that wasn't there, you probably could have pushed it and
Well, we'll get
pulled
that
it out from here.
We'll get that out in a second.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
That wasn't too bad at all. For those of you afraid of doing this, it wasn't too bad.
Oh. What was giving you trouble? That corner piece. I guess there was just a little bit more of that
The glue.
yeah.
Look at that.
Isn't that
Not
interesting?
broken and really not in bad shape. You know, very, very bottoms have some fogging, but this is
Better
good
than
nice.
Lula's.
Yes, a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better than most we see.
That's true. Now comes the fun part.
Yeah.
The dash.
So I'm going to try a few things to get this dash out. Certainly drilling the spot welds is an option, but that's going to take a long time. There's a bunch. So we could use the plasma cutter on it, but that's also going to take a while, and it's not easy to get close enough to the dash to cut it. So I'm going to try starting with one of these, just a cutting blade, and see if I can at least get part of it out, and then maybe we'll grab the plasma cutter for the rest. It'll be interesting, no doubt. Lots of sparks about to happen. It'd help if it's plugged in. So we're making some headway. We decided to cut it at this lip, and we've got it all the way across to here. Now we have to figure out how to get in here. The plasma cutter won't fit in there. I don't think that's going to fit in there. Maybe a Sawzall? We'll find out.
We specifically chose today to do this because, wow, Richard.
It's not supposed to rain. Overcut.
Yeah, it looks like a nice clean cut to me,
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
Great job, hon.
We got to get in here. Going to be a little tricky.
So if you look right there, underneath this, everything you see, the rustiness and everything, all of that has fallen off of, I guess, the floor and off this door since we started. It's crazy.
All right, I'm not going to let this dash get the best of me. We're going to the air chisel. The Sawzall just can't get in there. So we'll see if this works. Going in! Works great. Yeah, baby. We're have you been all my life?
Do you feel empowered now? You are working on what we believe is the last piece holding the dash in.
Yep. And that is the 3 on the tree lever. We're hoping we disconnect this collar and pull it straight out. We're hoping. We do not know that to be fact.
For those of you that didn't notice it when we were cutting the dash, that's what we're referring to right there. The 3 on the tree, the shifter. Oh, there's a bee here. He's not happy. I do not know why that bee is so mad.
Oh, look at that.
Looky, looky.
Right,
wonderful.
the vent cables are screwed into the dash and they're not coming out. So I'm just disconnecting them here and feeding them through, which is very simple to do because the vent tubes here are all rusted away.
Is that the other side of the vent one?
Yep. Yep. Caught up over here. I need you to lift your side up.
Okay, let me get my gloves back on. We have been wrestling with this for probably 2 hours, trying to connect everything, and then we find something else, and then we think we're done, and we've got another wire. It's unbelievable.
Well, we're trying not to be destructive.
Yeah.
And cut stuff.
Except for us.
Yeah. So we've cut very few wires. Very few.
You ready to try again?
I think that's all of them.
All right.
I really do.
You ready? Oh no. Okay. Whew, sorry. It got stuck in the hole in the floor. Coming out, you got it? Oh, did we get it? Oh, hold on. Amazing. We got it. Oh, goodness.
Isn't that pretty?
It is. It actually looks nice.
I'd like to hang it on the wall if we weren't going to use it.
Yeah, well, it needs some work.
And
we are going to use it. So, it was a tough job. I'm not going to fib. Alrighty.
Well,
Well,
we knew it would be.
We did, yeah. And
And
I
we
think you scraped your arm, I think.
Nah.
And then I ended up cutting my leg, but all in all, I think we did well.
I think we did. We learned some things.
We always learn things.
And,
I love that part.
We saved almost every wire.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had rewired the horn switch to a push button. I had to cut those. But most of the other, 99% of the wires, the bulbs, everything we saved. So the harness is intact.
So, all right, well, I think we're done for today.
Yeah,
We're gonna clean up our mess.
Yep, put a tarp on this thing.
And then it's gonna rain for the next 3 or 4 days. So that's why we started taking things off, because that'll give me something to work on inside the shop.
Nice job, love.
You too. So this is the panel from the donor car, Lou, and I have to say, for a 52, this is in very good shape.
Yeah, it really is.
And I think that since it doesn't have 5 coats of paint, or 6 coats, you know, if you include the top coat, this should be a lot easier to get off than what I was working with yesterday. So that will be the next step. So you're taking the trim off for me.
Yep.
And I kind of feel like it might be easier if the headlight was off.
You can take it off.
Could just be maybe a little safer if I don't hit it, or...
Well, it's probably 6 volt anyway, so we're not going to use it.
Well, yeah. We don't even know if it works, honestly.
Yep.
So that trim just has that one screw right there.
Yeah, one screw pops this bezel out like this.
Wow.
Just like that. And the section that screws into is often rusted out, and you can see it's not even there anymore.
Yeah, well,
So it's rusted.
as soon as you took it off and I saw that fall out.
It's very common.
Hmm.
Very common. It was hanging by one screw.
Uh-huh. Yeah, look at that mess.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Well, I'm glad you took it off because I probably needed to sand that down.
These are going to be tough to get out. They're so rusty.
It's the last one.
I think so. Now we just give it a little tap. Give it a little tap.
Oh, there you go. Let's take a look at
There
it.
it goes.
Wow. Let's look over here.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad there.
Could look a lot worse.
It could. All right. Thanks, hon.
Yeah.
So let's see if I'm correct in hoping that this fender will be easier to sand than the original one off the 51. Definitely going better than the day before. Much easier, and it's going to take me about half the time it did on the last one, so that's good.
We're prepping the engine for paint. No, we're not going to pull the engine out to paint it. It's just not necessary. We have access to nearly everything from here and from underneath. So I've stripped the plug wires out. I'm going to tape these plugs up. But I've taken all the accessories off, the starter is out, and this should be now ready for wire brushing and some sanding and painting. I'm going to, of course, mask off the carb, but it's almost at the point where we can begin to degrease it and then spray it. We're going to use what, the original Blue Flame 6?
I think that's
Blue?
what, yeah, we talked about
If
that.
we can find it. If it's available, we're going to do it. We haven't decided what to do with this yet. It might be savable. It might not be. It sure would be nice to have a chrome one though. So a few viewers have asked, what are we going to do about the firewall? Because it's got holes in it. So this is the worst section of the firewall right here. It's basically unsalvageable. We could cut a whole bunch of patches in here, but we have a parts car, so it's not worth it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cut this out. We could use a Sawzall, we could use a grinding wheel, but I think for the purposes here, the easiest thing to do is just use a plasma cutter. It'll cut through it quick, we don't have to worry about nonsense, and then we can move on. We're also going to cut the same size piece out of Lou, the parts car, and then we're just going to weld it in, and we'll have a brand new piece here.
But you forgot the most important thing.
What's that?
The plasma cutter is more fun.
Yeah, it is more fun. It is more fun.
You got it!
It's pretty nice here. Little rough here. I gotta adjust this helmet. It's a little too dark, so I couldn't actually see right here, but where I could see, it came out pretty good.
So I pointed out to Richard that the tires on the burnt Chevy were so new that they never wore off the, what did you call these, Richard? Nubs? Yeah, and the tread. That is so sad. So I think that they may have went out and bought brand new wheels, and then the darn thing caught on fire.
Look at Western Auto tires. And are these bias ply? They look it. Yep, these are bias ply tires. That shows you just how long ago this was driven.
I'm not sure that it was driven after they got the new tires on.
So a few people have also asked, what about the structural integrity of the steel? When steel gets hot, it obviously gets weak. This is not a problem here in most cases. This is all unaffected by the heat. Even down here is unaffected. We cut out the piece that was affected, but if you look at this, even here, it's super solid. The couple of areas we've seen, obviously, is that, and also right here. So we've got a buckle here. This is probably the worst one, and a small one here. Now these could have been caused by the heat. Who knows? Could have been caused by whatever they used to put the fire out. Maybe it banged it. I don't know, but there's one here, and one here. So we have to deal with that, but there's no issues with the structural integrity of the roof. The floor is intact. I mean, the car is, it looks worse than it is.
Oh, Richard.
Yep.
Love, love, love the table that you made for the paint job.
Well, it's not paint.
That's right.
We're just hitting it with some rust reformer.
That's right.
So no comments about my painting table.
Yeah, right. Hey, you know, what is that? What is that saying? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Yeah.
Let he who has done nothing ridiculous in his shop say a comment.
We won't get any comments. Okay, let's get that rust reformer going, or the rust spray.
Yeah. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that.
Now, we're only going to hit the rusty areas, of course.
Yeah, so why don't you tell them we noticed it was things like where the
trim was.
Exactly. Just
the idea here is that we don't want the rust ever coming back. So we're going to hit it with the encapsulator, and it doesn't mean we're done with it.
No.
We still have to fill it and putty it and all that jazz. But we want to start with this.
Right. I mean, if you don't put something over the rust and we start to put body filler and paint it, the rust is just going to keep growing.
Yeah, the only other thing is get all the rust off through sandblasting, and that's just not practical for us.
Even if you did that, I think that, I feel like that you would have to do some type of rust treatment since it wasn't new metal.
No, when it's sandblasted, there's nothing left for rust, nothing. But that's not practical for us.
I was not going to remove that original body filler. You know, if it's lasted this long and lasted through a fire, do you see any reason to take it off?
No, definitely not.
I mean, that's good
No,
stuff.
just because it's old body filler doesn't mean it has to come off. If it was applied right, no.
So now we are putting on some primer just to keep the rest of it from rusting until we are ready to move on to the next part. See, I think that your table is working excellent.
Yeah, I might patent it.
There you go. I don't think you'd sell any, but I can guarantee that no one else has this patent. Alrighty, so these are finished for now. They are protected so they're not gonna flash rust, and we'll be coming back to these. So can you tell which fender is from which car?
Thank you so much for watching. We really love your support of our second channel. It's starting to get some traction and grow. So next week,
well, I am going to clean the dash, get it sanded and prepped and ready for Richard to get welded in, along with the other welding that he needs to do in the front. And
yep, I'm going to finish the firewall and get the engine prepped and ready for paint.
And if we have time,
we'll paint the engine if time allows.
We'll just have to wait and see, because we have a lot of other things going on.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Some willet runs we need to get to and a lot of different other things. So again, we appreciate your support. If you haven't already, we'd appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button. Until next time, we will be
chatting with you in the comments.
Have a great week.
Have a great day.